So here we have a door handle, plastic and metal components, a pin with conical end, the other end of the handle, a lot of screws, another portion for the lock. So this is one circle and that's the other circle. So one here and one there. The same thing on the other side, one and one. This door has to be painted, it's not yet finished, but let's assemble these. So we have these with circular openings and these with openings for the key. That's not circular. 2 keys and 2 door handles. Those are in line, this is circular. Okay, we have to mount these plastics first. The metal will cover the plastic. More exactly, it has this little thing on the top that goes to this cut and you have to push it in. But first we have to add 2 screws there. The smaller one, the larger one. Let's see the small one. The small one enters way too much. So I guess the larger one will that enter where it should not enter? Isn't that entering into the metal? Interesting. It sticks out. Or here's a smaller opening. Let's try that one. That looks much better. Here's a small drill bit. I'm going to make hole for the small one. First insert that there. Get the female part. Insert that there. Circular metal is not yet attached. Okay, and let's make some holes. That tiny plastic should be on the bottom. It's not easy. So it looks like this. 1, 2, 3 holes for this one. Now add the screws there. My bit is too large. The tip of the bit is too large. Let's see. Yes, that's a smaller tip. Yep. Use a manual screwdriver to tighten the screws. They enter into plastic and you should not break them with the electric tool. That's okay. This has play. This portion is not removable. The other one should enter into that opening. And this portion should widen when the screw is inserted. So this should be okay. Without those screws, the handle would slightly move up and down. So those are needed. Now you can attach this metal with that cut on the bottom there and just push it on. Okay, so the plastic is holding the metal and this can enter there. So only this pin on the other side will hold the entire handle unit. So let's drill holes for this also. Position that down and introduce 3 small screws. Now, how should I know how up or down should it be? To find that out, introduce the handle and that centers the plastic. Position the small thing down and hold the plastic. Remove the handle, make the holes. introduce the screws and tighten the screws gently because it's plastic. And will the handle enter or not? It looks fine. It's moving. Now remove the handle. Attach the metal part. That cut should be on the bottom. Push it on. Plug in that handle. Introduce that pin. And you will need a hexagonal bit like so. And tighten it. I'm using a ratchet tool to the other direction. It has a little bit of play, but other than it, it's ready. It has some cuts on the top. I mean, the paint went down. Maybe I should reverse it because the bottom looks better. So push it to the other direction to loosen it. Remove the handle. Reverse it. Now it's upside down. The shape allows it because it's perfectly straight. Now there is nothing visible on the top. And now you can insert it from the inside. Push it in well, this one and that one, and then tighten it. And this upper portion is ready. In this way, since the handle which has the shaft, it's on the outside, if this exits somehow, then when you pull this out, then your handle should remain in your hand. So you will have access to that shaft. If this was outside, then only the handle would remain in your hand, and maybe that shaft can fall in the room. And let's try to close the door. There's a large gap there. 3-4 millimeters are holding the door. It doesn't want to enter if it's pushed in, but it entered. There's a gap, but it's working. Now repeat the entire process for the locking mechanism also. I mean the cover. Same thing, 3 screws and a cover. This is also circular. This is rectangular. Somehow like that. You have to guess how high to mount that plastic, because the shaft of the key has to be in the center of this opening. I made just one hole. And it seems to be okay. So the shaft of the key is in the center of that circle. So I should introduce the other screws also. Oops, it entered all the way. Tighten it manually. Put the metal on with the cut on the bottom and make it vertical, that opening, and push it on. And the key is fine. Now it seems to be hanging a little bit down, so the black plastic is holding the metal. That metal might fall down if it's too loose, but luckily it's holding quite well. So it looks like this, 2 circles. That is not yet mounted. I have to introduce the key here also. guess the height, center it somehow, remove the key and the metal, make that opening vertical, and make at least one hole. Now it enters much harder. Did I use the larger screw? So I used the larger diameter screw compared to that one. Now it might be loose. Seems to be okay. Metal. Key. It's roughly in the center. Okay, so let's continue drilling and insert the screws. Now insert small screws, not large ones. Okay, put the metal cap on. It looks okay. And it also works. Locked, unlocked, closed, locked, unlocked. This has a little bit of play horizontally. It did not enter more, but whatever. I have to oil these also. Plus, there is no silicone between the glass and this wood. No rubber. My hand almost enters there. So I have to insert something there also. Plus, it has to be painted. And so on.